Well, hello. I wanted to do a little video to help you study for the upcoming quiz on the first day. And so we'll start here with the alphabet, and I'll show you how to write these. So the word alphabet actually comes from the Greek alphabet, and it's called alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. Those are first five letters. So alpha is the sound, alpha. Beta is just our B. Gamma is a hard G. Delta, where we get the word delta from, and epsilon. So those are the first five, and when we look at these, this will be your chapter in the textbook that I'm putting together, and so pretty straightforward, really. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. So very similar to our alphabet, no problem. The gamma does look like a Y, but it's not a Y, it's the gamma. So A is in aha, B is in boy, G is in graph, girl, get, it's that hard G. Delta, D is in dog. Epsilon is the small E sound, as in bed. So alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. So you want to get where you can say it like that: alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. Now, I found that it's easiest to remember these if you go in chunks like that. So the first five: alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta. Those kind of rhyme to me, and so I memorized them together. This will be where your line is, so not below here, but below, when you get to the zeta, the eta looks kind of like an N, but it's not. It's the eta sound, and then the theta is TH. Zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, that's the L sound, mu, nu, that's a tricky one because it looks like a V, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, and then strange letter, Kasi. So that's going to be the KS sound. So alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, Kasi. Then we go Omicron Pi, you're familiar with from math, rho. Now, the rho is tricky because it looks like a P. It's not a P. This is our P sound, so this is an R sound. So that's a little tricky. We'll have to learn that one carefully. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, Kasi, Omicron, Pi, rho, sigma. So that's a little strange. If sigma is written at the end of the word, it's final sigma, which looks like our S, but everywhere else it's sigma. Sigma, tau, upsilon. Pretty straightforward, very similar to English. alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, Xi, Omicron, Pi, Rho, sigma, tau, upsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega. So that's straightforward, except the omega is a little strange, but the rest you're probably familiar with from, fraternities and sororities. So if we do the whole thing, and I want you to be able to write the whole thing, you would write it like this: alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, Xi, Omicron, Pi, Rho, sigma, tau, upsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega. Let me do that again. And you want to get where you can just write it out without thinking almost. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, Xi, kind of hard to write, Omicron, Pi, Rho, sigma, tau, upsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega. So what you're wanting to do is to be able to write it like that, and we'll have a test on our first day, so you want to be able to do that. So here's the printed one. You want to make your written ones as exactly like the printed ones as possible. The vast majority of the letters written in Greek are written in small case. There are only a few cases where you use the capitals. So start with these: alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, Xi, Omicron, Pi, Rho, sigma, tau, upsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega. And so just to go over the pronunciation again, the name will tell you how it's said. So alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, as in peg. Zeta is really a D and Z sound together. Zeta, you're kind of half saying a D and half saying a Z. Zeta. Eta is like the EY in pray, Ada, or the A in paper, or hate, kind of that sound, that long AY sound in English. So zeta, eta, theta, TH sound. Iota, I sound, hit as in hit or machine. Kappa, just a hard K. Lambda, mu, nu, Xi. Xi is like a K and an S, or the sound if you undo a high pressure hose. Xi. The X in hex is a nice approximation. Omicron, did you pick up that the name of that is little o? Omicron, like pot. Very close to an alpha in pronunciation, but it's a short O sound. Pi, P is in pi. R is in rhinoceros, but the tricky thing is it looks like a P, sigma, tau, T as in toy. Upsilon is the U sound in cute, or the OO sound in boot, or moose, upsilon, that sound. Phi, chi, psi, omega. So straight forward, what you want to do is look at the online alphabet instructions, and most of these are YouTube videos. You can use these as kind of a supplement thing, and then go to the text and just listen to John 1:1-5 read over and over. And if you do those things, the first quiz is just going to be great. Now, a couple little just add-ons here. Small case letters in Greek are the most common. Capital letters are used for proper names in the start of paragraphs. So you don't start sentences off with a capital in Greek. It's only the start of the paragraph or a proper name. Now, there are two little marks you have to notice. One is called a rough breathing, and it represents an initial H sound. So when you have the rough breathing here, hagios, little second mark there is a accent mark. So the first is the breathing mark, hagios, and that means holy. So hagiographa, the holy writings, you'll see that in English sometime. And then a smooth reading means there's no H sound. So agathos, not hagathos, but agathos. And that means good. It's where we get the name Agatha for a woman. An initial rho always has this rough breathing, and in fact, it's pronounced as an R and H together. If you can trill your R, that's even better. This breathing mark is why we spell the word rhinoceros, R-H-I-N-O. Rhino has to do with nose, and so keros is horn, so a rhinoceros is a thing with a nose horn, or if you get a nose job, they call it rhinoplasty. All this related, but the spelling of it comes from the fact that you have a rough breathing over the initial R sound in Greek. Diphthongs are where you take a vowel and you say two vowel sounds together, it makes a slightly different sound. So this is the I in phenomenon, something appearing, feign, eclipsos, we get the word eclipse, oi as in oil, delphoi. And then this one is tricky. It's pronounced we. So with a rough breathing, it's huios. This is the word for son, like son of God. This is ow. This is eu, said quickly, feud, Euripides, and then same eureka, I have found it, and then u as in group, uranos. So when we come here to the sight words, angelos, aether, anthropos, axioma, asbestos, austere, what you want to do is work through these and see if you can guess what the English word that comes from it. 30% of the English language comes straight from the Greek, and so when you walk in the classroom the first day, you know about 3,000 Greek words. You just don't quite know it yet, and so it's one of the things that makes Greek very easy to learn is a lot of words come straight from Greek into English. So work through these words, and then we'll have the quiz. I encourage you to get in a study group, and really looking forward to our first time together, and I'll see you then.